Well, hey everybody, it is Monday night. That means it's check-in Monday. Grateful to have you joining me on tonight. Thank you so much. I see you coming in, and I thank you for being a part tonight and being here with us. Um, as you are coming in tonight, please do me a favor if this is your very first time being here and you've never been here before, please let me know and let us know that this is your very first time with being with us on this evening. All right, let's see. Yeah, thank y'all so much. I see you. I see you. Please do this for me tonight as you come in. Please like, share, make comments, and everything. But again, if it's your first time being with us and you've never been on one of the check-in Mondays, please let me know that and just say first time and let me know what city or state you may be viewing us from on this evening on this check-in Monday. Well, we're right on the eve of election day, midterms 2022, and I pray that those of you, if you have not voted early, I pray that you would get out tomorrow and vote. By all means, vote, and whoever you're voting for, but please vote. It is a right that we have to vote because of our foreparents and things that they went through, and so we really want you to get out and do your duty tomorrow and vote and let your voice be heard through your vote. In the early 60s, and I was born in 1960, and I remember as a little boy the protests and those things that Dr. Kingdom led, and they led them through way of nonviolent protests, and they got a lot accomplished. And it was through some of their actions that we're able to vote and register to vote. And so I want you to please, by all means, do that and exercise your right tomorrow to vote. If the lines is long, still hang in there, exercise your right to vote, and let your voice be heard, all right? And I know if you do that, it will, who knows what change may be accomplished when we do that on this, on tomorrow. Well, let's get into this really tonight, and I promise not to hold you long with this tonight, but I want to talk to you tonight about starting to concentrate on things that matter. Starting to concentrate, start to concentrate, should I say, on things that matter. And I pray that this will really encourage you on this Monday night as we are preparing, coming toward the end of the year, and a lot of things have happened this year, but God has still been good to us in spite of all that has happened. But I want us to tonight to take a look at on this, start to concentrate on things that matter. And I probably should have put start to concentrate on things that matter in your life. And that's important. We've got to start concentrating. Today, we pay a lot of attention to things that occupy most of our time. A lot of us, we have become obsessed with various things, whether it's the job, whether it's something going on, whether in the church, whether it's having a position or a title, or whether it's impressing your peers, or in family, it could be other things. But we not waste, but we have a lot of things that occupy our time. And I mean, really take up our time. When we really think about it, if we stop and look, sometimes we'll be like, I didn't know I paid that much attention and time. I didn't know that occupied my time as much. If you got a iPhone, I don't know about the other phones, but there's a thing on the iPhone that will tell you how much screen time you've had on your phone, or how long you've been on your phone. And it measures and calculates your activity. on your phone of how long you may have been on the phone and what your screen time may have been. And if we really took time to stop and sit back and look, we would probably think and look at it that a lot of things occupy our time. More things occupy our time than we should allow to occupy our times. It takes up a lot of our times. It starts sometimes in the morning and it does not end until we go to bed. And sometimes even after you go to bed, it's still there occupying your time. And so a lot of things occupy our times. We allow things to buy up and take up our time. And we have become obsessed with some of these things. And to the extent that it affects other things that we could do, excuse me, and other things that we should do, but we allow it to occupy our time. But I want to say to you tonight that it is time to start concentrating on the things that matter. And one of the things that I want to share with you, and I found out, and maybe some of you can attest to this, is that the older you get, your way of thinking changes in many cases. Sometimes the older you get, you remember when we were young and fresh, and a lot of times we don't like to admit that we're getting older, but we were young and fresh, and we did stuff that when we look back, we sort of say to ourselves, how in the world did I do that? Or how did I get by with doing that? We thought it was sort of crazy of what we did because we were young and we did a lot of stuff when we were young. Stuff that we probably couldn't tell nobody about, and not that it was sinful or anything. It was just stupid. It was just we were being ignorant and stuff, and so we wouldn't really do that. But as we mature and get older, we start finding that the older we get, the way we think changes in many cases. Some stuff that we thought a certain kind of way about, we start changing the way we think about it. We start thinking a little different about family. You have a different perspective of family. When I was coming up, family was important and everything, but as I've gotten older, I started recognizing the value even more of family and what it really matters. Because when I was young, it was just, time of getting with the cousins on Thanksgiving or Christmas or getting a gift or something like that. So I wasn't really concentrating on anything beyond that. I was just sort of right there at that place. And so sometimes, when you're young, you don't concentrate on things like that. There's a whole bunch of stuff I'm sure all of us could say, I just didn't pay any attention to those things when I was young. But now that I'm older, my way of thinking has changed when it comes to family. I start to recognize the value of those family reunions or those family get-togethers. I start to recognize those things. And then my thought has changed about money and finances and the way I handle my money, the way I do bills, the way I do things. Those things have changed for me. And so my concentration has changed. My thought pattern has changed in that area. And I'm sure many of you, it has done the same thing. Even in relationships, and I'm not talking about dating someone, I'm just talking about relationships with people that you may consider friends or you may have considered friends, or people that you would probably go to the end of the world for, to do things for, to make sure things were happening for them. As you gotten older and you start to reassess and look at things, now you start saying to yourself, you know what? I need to start concentrating on something different, looking at this a little different. Because now you're starting to understand that, as sometimes you read online, the people that you valued, and now you started to concentrate, and you're starting to see that the value you put in people, they didn't put the same value in you. And so now there's a big difference there. Now you starting to see that, and it starts to kick in. It starts to get there. And so as you get older, you start thinking different about relationships, how you relate to people and how they relate to you. You start understanding that. And so it's something about getting older that makes all of us start thinking a little bit different. We don't think the same way when we get older. You don't your concentration is not on the stuff that it was on when you were probably 20 or 30 or 40. Now, if the Lord blesses me, November 23rd, I'll turn 62. And my whole thought pattern and concentration have changed from things that I thought mattered when I was 20. Now they don't have as much value as they did when I was 20. They don't have as much value as they did when I was 30. Neither do they have as much value as I did when I was 40. And so my value has changed. My concentration has began to change about some things and a couple of things. And so I don't see those things the same way as I used to see them. And so you start understanding that now you see things a little bit differently. And so you start concentrating on things that matter as you get older. And sometimes that comes along with age, or that comes along with time, or that comes along with things that are going on. And you start understanding that, I see things different now than what I used to see it. And as you get older, it just does that. That's some about getting older, maturing, getting seasoned as your age, that you start concentrating on things that really, really matter at this stage of your life. Because our lives are in stages, but then there's some stages that you put more concentration in those areas than you do. I'll say to you again, when I was a young man, there's some things I didn't concentrate on as much. When I was young, I did concentrate on health a little bit. We used to go to the health food store, no matter what city or state we were in. We found a good health food store, and I took a lot of herbs and stuff, trying to stay healthy. But then after a certain time, I stopped doing that. But now, I've put my concentration, started concentrating on things that matter, which is my health. Your body doesn't respond the same way it did when you were 30. It heals. The doctor always says our bodies were made to heal. It heals, but sometimes it doesn't heal as quick. And then you pick up little things that as you go on, maybe some type of sickness or disease or something that you've got to take medication for. And so when you start getting to that point and you start getting older, you start saying to yourself, you know what, I'm going to concentrate on my health. So back in July of this year, I started concentrating on my health for being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes back in 2009. And so I've been dealing with that since 2009, and it's been a roller coaster up and down. And so I really started saying, you know what, I'm gonna really concentrate on what really matters, and that's my health. And so I did that. And when I did that, I lost weight, and had to go buy some different size shirts today. I've lost weight, but it's not because I'm sick. It's because I changed my eating habits. I changed the way I eat. I changed what I eat. And so I started concentrating on the thing that really mattered, and that was my health. And sometimes you do that as you get older. You start concentrating on the things that matter. The next thing is, sometimes with life moving so fast, we fail to prioritize our lives and the things in it. Sometimes because life is moving so fast, we fail to prioritize. We fail to put those things in their important places and their proper places and their proper slots, their proper places. We put things where we would put things in the number one spot. As you get older and as you start looking, you try your best to put things in their right place. It's like putting a puzzle together. You try to put the piece of the puzzle in the right place, not just anywhere, because it may not fit. And so sometimes life is moving real fast. Things are coming at us real fast. And sometimes we fail to prioritize our lives and things that are in it. You've got to know where to put those things that are important and those things that are not as important. On my thing here on my TV, I can tape different shows. A DVR recorder is called, and I can tape different shows. But one of the features that's on there is they gives me to be able to move things around to prioritize what it should record and what's not as important to record. And sometimes we fail to put those proper things in their place in our lives and things around us. We fail to put them in their proper place, and so we put them anywhere, and sometimes our life gets out of sync because we don't put things in the right place. You got to learn to put things in their proper place, where they belong, where they should be. You got to put them there. You got to place them there and do those things, because if you don't, what happens is sometimes you find yourself, your life is sort of going and understand, life is like being on the highway. It's like being on the highway. You can miss your exit if you don't prioritize getting in the right lane before you get to the exit. And all of us have been driving and seen people in the left lane and come up on the exit, and what do? They drive reckless and go all the way across the lane trying to get to the exit. Well, they didn't prioritize. They didn't put that thing in its proper place. They didn't put, I need to get over now so I can make that exit. So they almost kill themselves or kill you because they did not put things in the proper place. So life goes fast, and life goes real fast. And we have to understand that because life is going fast every day. It's going fast every day. Every day. Life is going fast. Hey, Pastor Cooper, life is going fast. And so since life is going fast, what do we got to do? We've got to not fail to put life in its proper place. You got to know what goes where and what don't go someplace. I mean, and that's in family. And I know I'm gonna get in trouble for this. That's in church. That's in work. That's in a whole lot of things. I don't want to limit it to one thing, to one or two things, but straight across the board, life is going so fast. Sometimes you got to slow down and put things in their proper place in your life, and so things will fit. And when things fit, guess what? They flow. I need y'all to get that. When things fit, they flow. When things fit, they gel. When they don't fit, then they don't gel at all. And you need to get that. We need to understand that. And so I understand that we got a lot going on. All of us do. But never fail, or never not take the time to stop and prioritize and put things in their proper place. You got to know what's needs to be here and what needs to be there. What needs to be on the right, what needs to be on the left, what needs to be in the middle, what needs to be in the forefront, what needs to be in the back. We need to know that, because if we don't know that, then what happens is things get out of whack. And sometimes they get out of whack, it's not as easy to get them back in place. I mean, it takes a minute. But by that time, you probably lost a lot of time. And so we need to work on that, because I want my life. I know there may be things that I can't control, but those things that I can control, I want a flow, a smooth flow. I don't want to be going through life like I got a blowout. Oh, we going through life like I got a blowout and the top. I don't want to do that. If I can control some things, there's some things we can control. We can't control everything, but there's some things we can control when we prioritize them and put them in the right place. And we got to do that. All right. So life moves fast, but don't fail to prioritize. All right. Okay. Next thing, we should know it's never too late to start concentrating on the things that matter. It's never too late to start concentrating on the things that matter. Sometimes, you get a late start, but you got to concentrate. Now, I said just a few minutes ago, 2009, I started off good with this diabetes thing. I started off real good, but along the way, I just like whatever. But then I started in July this year to really concentrate and do what I should be doing in the first place. Until my primary care doctor said to me, you've done this is excellent. This is what you've been doing should have been doing in the first place. You've concentrated. And that's what I did. I started concentrating on my health. I mean, listen, let me tell y'all something. It was nothing for me to drink. Pepsi is my drink of choice. Nothing for me to drink. Not one Pepsi, not two Pepsis, not three Pepsis, not four Pepsis. I could drink 5 or 6 Pepsis a day, and if I was eating and drinking a Pepsi and ran out, I cover my food up and run up to the corner store and buy me 2 more Pepsis so I can finish with my meal. And don't talk about going and getting candy and getting, oh my Lord, getting my candy M&Ms and let me, what else, Nestle Crunch, and I could just go through the list and just, oh my God, just go through it. And I have to tell you all that I have not drunk a Pepsi since the last day of, what's that? What was that? July. Have not drunk a Pepsi since the last day of July. So this is November. So August, September, October, November. Have not drunk a Pepsi. Laid off the bread, and so my weight is down. And the funny part about it is when I went to the doctor when I first came out the hospital, I was 174, and the doctor told me that I was overweight, and I was looking at him like he was crazy. I was like, overweight? He said, yeah, for your size, you're overweight. I'm like, man, if I lose any more weight, I'm gonna be they ain't gonna be able to see me. But so it's down, and everything is down. So that I start concentrating on my health. That's what I'm saying. That's my point that I'm trying to make to you is it's never too late to get started. Don't say, well, I would start, but no, you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. And if you don't start somewhere, I'm gonna tell you something. If you don't start somewhere, you probably never get started. If you don't start somewhere, you probably never get started. Let me read something that someone said, and I jotted it down the other day. They were talking about business, and when I hear something good, I like to jot it down. And let me tell you what they said here. All right. Here's what they said. This is a powerful statement. You don't have to get it right. Just get going. That was the statement they made. You don't have to get it right. Just get going. And sometimes our hindrance is we don't ever get going. I don't know what we waiting on. I can't tell you what I was waiting on. I guess I was waiting for to be losing my my sight and a couple of limbs, I guess. I don't know what I was waiting on. I was waiting on something. I don't know. But I'm glad that I decided to get started. And that's important. It's never too late to get started. So I'm happy with the results because I had to start somewhere. And I had to start concentrating on things that were important or things that mattered. Some of you tonight, I hope this will bless you because that's what you got to do. You got to start concentrating on things that matter and things that you need to do. And let me say this to you in the form of really helping you. Don't wait until things get to the point that you can't change anything about the time that you wasted over things that were not important. Because let's just be honest. A lot of times, if we look back, we've wasted a lot of time in our lives. And we waited too late to a point. Who knows what could have happened at a certain point, but we wasted a lot of time trying to, hoping things would change and change things, and things did not change, and we wasted time over those things that were not important. You got to understand, sometimes wasting time over things that are not important is not good. I mean, when you recognize that that's not important, don't waste time with it. When you recognize that that's not important, that it doesn't matter, that it's not worth your time, it's not worth your whatever, then don't waste time with it. Don't concentrate. I was at the, I went to the market the other day, last week with Lady Martin and the Grands, and a lady, we were in these little thing where they sell stuff, and so a lady, I don't know what her issue was, but this lady, I was like coming through, and we had passed each other once or twice, and I was coming through, and she turned around and said, "You in my way." And normally the old me would have opened her email and read her real good. But I act like I didn't hear and kept on doing what I was doing, and she went on about her business. And so I was talking with my wife, we were laughing. She said, "I'm glad you didn't do that, because that wasn't even worth it." And sometimes you got to know what not to waste time on that's not important. Some things are important. Some things matter. But then there's some things you wasting time on. It don't matter. So don't waste a lot of time over things that don't matter. Don't waste a lot of time over things that may not change. Because wasted time, and I got to say this, wasted time sometimes cannot be recovered. Well, be honest with you, most time wasted time can't be recovered. You can't get that time back. It's wasted. You can do some other things, but that time never comes back. If you miss that time doesn't come back. You can't get that back. And when you waste it, you just waste it. And hopefully all of us, even though it was wasted, maybe we learned a valuable lesson not to hit that again or deal with that again. But sometimes we can't get that time back. If you right now here it's 9:03. If right now if I was doing something and it didn't profit me anything and I didn't get anything from it, then what happens is I've wasted that time. I'm not getting anything back from that. And you got to start learning, stop wasting time over stuff that don't matter. Because when you do, it's wasted time. And I'm gonna say this, and hopefully I can help you out with this. Not saying that people are not important, but let me tell you this. My time is important. And I am important. I value myself. So I'm not gonna waste time over things that are not important. And then I'm not gonna allow you to waste my time. Because if I allow you to waste my time, I still can't get that time back. especially if I'm doing something try to help you and improve your life or whatever, and you not trying to do anything to improve your own life, that's wasted time. And I got now at this, think about it, the stages of life. Now at this time in my life, I got to start concentrating on the things that matter at this stage in my life. All right? Let me hurry on. So, what are some of the things that you feel you need to start concentrating on right now? What are some of the things that you feel you need to start concentrating on right now? I mean, um, I did mine. Mine was health and family and other things. Some of you may be finances, it may be getting out of debt. It may be spending more time with family, friends, loved ones, your children. Uh, maybe you work all the time and don't spend no time with your grands. You don't spend no time with your children. That could be something you maybe need to start concentrating. And we don't have to say, I wish I'd have spent more time with them. No, you may need to do that now. Why? Because those are things that sometimes we put so much other time into other stuff that we miss those valuable things. And even those things you can't get back. Once a loved one is gone, you can't get that back. Once someone is departed, you can't get that back. That doesn't come back. You got memories, but what you could have done, you don't get to do that now. And so you have to value and start concentrating on the things that matter. We're going to the holiday season, of course, Thanksgiving and then Christmas, and for some it's rough during those times of holidays. It be the first ones without loved ones or someone that passed along. But those of us that still got our loved ones, your mother, your father, sisters, brothers, whoever, um, you know, do you feel you need to start concentrating on those things right now? Taking some time, pick up a phone and call your relatives or call somebody and just say, I just called to check on you. I don't want to borrow no money. I don't want nothing. I just called to say hello. A family, a friend, or somebody. There are people, as we go into this convocation, there are people last year this time, we were looking at the timeline. People passed away. And it's amazing that it's been this whole year since they passed. And you don't get to talk to them no more. You don't get to say anything to them. And so think about that. So ask yourself, what are some of the things that I feel I need to start concentrating on right now and doing right now? Many of us need to start concentrating on some stuff and putting priority on it. All right? Let me do these last two and I'm going to be done. Tonight I'm going to make a confession to those of you that are watching and those of you that are watching on demand. I have to admit that my bout with COVID-19 in August 2020, August 20th, 2020, matter of fact, I'll never forget that date, made me start concentrating on life a little bit more and things that matter. I think when you come close, not that you were right there, but you come close enough to the door. And when I mean door, I mean death's door. When you come close enough to it and not knowing what the outcome is going to be unless God brings you out. When I came out, I started concentrating on life a little bit more. I started concentrating on life, my health, started concentrating on things because I had never really been sick. I had never been in the hospital, no more than a broke ankle, and I didn't stay overnight for that, and a busted lip, and they got some stitches. I had never been in no hospital, in no bed. I didn't know what that felt like. But when I came out, I started concentrating on life and thinking different because of what I went through. And many of you'll start understanding that there's some things that you go through make you start concentrating on life and looking at life differently. You get a whole different perspective of life. And sometimes people don't understand that. because especially if they haven't been through some of that stuff, they don't understand why you think different about life, why you approach life differently, because it's different. You know, anything that you can control, you okay with it. But then when you get to the place where you can't control things, you can't control how long you're going to be in the hospital. You can't control. You can check yourself out, but you can't control how long you're going to be in the hospital. You can't control different things. If you can't control those things, you can't control whether they say, well, you know, we don't know if you're going to live or die. You can't control that. Only God's in control of that. So when you start understanding that, when you come from that, you get a whole different look and perspective of life. You see things differently. And that's when you really start concentrating on stuff that really matters. Because you start understanding the stuff that you thought was important was not important. The stuff that you thought, I'm going to say that again, the stuff that you thought was important was not as important as you thought it was. Matter of fact, you took it off the list of being important because you said that's not important now. That doesn't even matter. And so I'll say this to you. Start concentrating. I need you to start concentrating on things that matter. Start concentrating on things that what matter. That's what I need you to do. Start concentrating on things that matter. Because here's the thing I want to tell you, and I'm through. Sometimes you and I have to make ourselves priority. Sometimes we're so busy looking out for everybody else that sometimes we don't make ourselves priority. Sometimes we spend money on everybody else, don't spend it on ourselves. Sometimes we take care of everybody else's need and don't take care of ours. And I want to say to you, start making yourself, in a lot of these cases, priority. Start living and enjoying life. Did you hear what I said? I said start living and enjoying life. Don't let people rob you of living. Don't let people rob you of enjoying your life. And I mean that with family, friends, work. Some of you be working and they ain't gonna pay you no more money than they paying you. Leave that job. Don't, when I say leave, don't quit. But when your time is up on the clock, go home. You stand there 2 or 3 hours working overtime and they ain't giving you no money for it. And your family is not there to enjoy you. Go and enjoy your family. Don't let people rob you of living and having life. I'm gonna get in trouble for this one. Even in church, don't let them stop. Someone that I know, they told us that they were not going to the convocation this week in Memphis, and they said, I'm going on a cruise. They said, every year my family goes on a cruise. And I've never been on the cruise because I was always in the convocation. But this year, I'm not going to the convocation. I'm going on a cruise. I applauded them. I said, yes. I applauded them for making that decision. I did. Because you never know. You don't know. And so, stop letting people rob you of living, enjoying your life. Don't do that. Why you say that? I say that because we only have one life to live. And it's according to how it goes. You can be healthy all the way till you leave out of here, or the rapture. Or you could run into some turbulence in life where you on a cane or you can't move around, you can't get around. And one thing you don't want to have is a regret that I didn't enjoy life when I was healthy and had the energy to do it. And I sit around and let everyone else enjoy their life and live, and I sat around and didn't do anything. Don't do it. Don't let nobody rob you of living. Don't let them rob you of enjoying your life. Enjoy yourself. Don't let them make you feel guilty for wanting to look out for you sometimes. Go on a spending spree for yourself. Look out for yourself. Take yourself to dinner. Go buy you a nice pair of shoes. Buy you what you want to buy. Go get a manicure, pedicure. Go do you. Don't let nobody make you feel bad because you want to do that. Start concentrating on things that matter, because I only got one life to live. And guess what I plan on doing? I plan on enjoying it to the best of my ability. Well, I'm through, y'all. I pray and trust that you got some out of that tonight. I pray that that has blessed you. And I want you to start concentrating on yourself. Start concentrating on things that matter and start putting things in their proper place. Prioritize. Put them where they need to be. And if you do that, you're going to have a good flow in your life. All right? Well, again, thank y'all so much for joining me. Listen, I want you all to, let me put this up. I want y'all to go and follow me with this. Scan the QR code and follow my podcast here. And it'll be a blessing. It goes back a couple of years. Some things that I've talked about on the podcast, and you would really enjoy it, and you can download it and all that. Want you to do that. Do that. Also, those of you, look here. You can follow me. You see this information. You can follow me on all my platforms. I'm adding a couple of more. You can follow on the platforms that I'm on, and I would love to have you following me and being in touch. Those that would love to connect, if you're first time here, you would love to connect with me. You can text the letters DLM to 833-463-5980. And whenever I'm coming on live and whatever, you will get a notification that I'm here. And so I would love to have you to do that and be a part. All right. Now, thank y'all so much. Those of you that are here, I want to thank those of you that you send, what can I say? You do Cash Apps on Mondays, and because people ask, I do put it on here. The Cash App, the $ dlmsr. Some people, someone last week said, you really blessed me, and they sent a donation, and others that have sent it. I really appreciate you doing it. Thank you so much for doing so, and I don't take it for granted that you do so. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for joining me. And those of you that watch that may not make comments, thank you for being here. You incognito, but I thank you for being here. And thank you for being a part of our Monday night check-in. Well, don't forget, please go vote tomorrow. If you have not voted, please go vote and exercise your right to do what our foreparents went through just to get us to the place that we could do this and to be able to vote. Well, the Lord bless you. And don't forget, it's time for you to live. Start concentrating on living. Don't let nobody rob you of life, rob you of living. Enjoy yourself to the fullest. May God bless you, and may all God's choice blessing